How's it going, guys? I hope you guys had a great week. So it is Friday, guys, which means it is Gaming News Friday. So today, let's talk about the big 3 news stories that hit this week in our Friday news roundup. The second piece of news this week is Google Stadia related. So Google Stadia launched on Monday, the 18th of November, and it flopped. It was a huge disappointment, and it basically revealed that Google Stadia is heavily underdeveloped. It's half baked. It was released with a lot of missing features, some key features that they'd promised people, some of the key draws of that, no stream connect, no family sharing, no achievements, no crowd play. All these features that looked amazing and looked really cool are actually missing on day one and will be added on later on. And just the lineup of games that's available at launch as well is really lackluster. I think originally there was only going to be 12 games released, but actually there are now 22 games that have been released with it on launch, and none of them are heavily new games. The interesting things on there look like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which looks kind of cool. Mortal Kombat 11 looks kind of cool. Of course, they've got their own indie exclusive title, which is called Guilt, and it's the only Stadia exclusive, but the rest of the games, they look pretty lackluster. Now, Google Stadia, I think its marketing has been pretty poor, and I think just the decisions behind it have been kind of poor. You would expect this to be kind of like a subscription service, kind of like what Netflix is, and it's all about streaming, and the whole appeal of Google Stadia is that you can play it anywhere, on phone, on tablet, on PC, and the idea is that you don't have to download the game. You can just buy it, click in it, and start playing it straight away. That's supposed to be the massive appeal of it. But one of the really stupid decisions that's been made is that apart from having to pay a monthly subscription, which I think is about $10 a month, they are actually then charging full price for each individual game. So, these games that have been out for quite a while and that are probably cheaper on console and on other platforms, you have to buy them again brand new on Google Stadia, which is just mind-boggling that they've chosen to do that. So that's really lackluster games, lots of missing features, really stupid kind of decision to have people purchase the games outright instead of paying a subscription service on top of already a subscription service. And then from what we've heard about it as well, its performance has been a little bit mixed, in terms of when people have actually got hands-on with it. They have sort of talked about, real issues with performance, huge sort of resolution and frame rate drops. They've had huge problems with latency, and that being a real issue. I think in the article they did talk about they tested several games. So, Google Stadia always promised that it was going to have 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, and that it would be consistent in terms of this. But actually Digital Foundry researched, and when they actually, got hands-on with Destiny 2 and Red Dead Redemption 2, they found that it just was not performing to that standard. They were lucky if they could get 1080p, 60 frames per second, with Destiny 2, and then Red Dead Redemption 2 was 1440p, 60 frames per second. So it's not hitting those promises that obviously Google was making in terms of the console. So when you actually purchase the starter pack, the hardware starter kit, it costs about $130, and that also includes 3 months of service and also the Google Stadia special controller that you can use as well. So that gives you 3 months sort of subscription to the service, and then it's $10 a month after that. Google Stadia just seems completely tone deaf. It's been rushed out. It's not ready. That's the main issue. And it just has a really lackluster lineup, and it just seems, really outdated and really out of touch with what's going on, particularly when you look at, what other publishers are doing. When you look at, Microsoft, and you look at PlayStation, and you look at what they're offering, Xbox are actually offering Project X Cloud, which just sounds great. It includes the Game Pass, which gives you access to a huge library of over 50 titles. And then it also gives you, access to the streaming service as well. But what's really cool at the moment is that, Xbox are actually offering a preview mode where you can kind of act like a beta tester and get hands-on with Project xCloud and try these games and try the streaming service. And it has a great library, and I think that is the way that Google Stadia should have gone. I feel like rather than releasing this day one as a supposedly finished product, but clearly it's not finished, really what they should have done is they should have put this in kind of a testing phase and given people access to, a beta launcher, a beta version of the game, and really look at the issues and bugs and problems that they've been having, and then try and build on it before you start charging people, a full subscription fee, or charging people $130 for a starter pack for a product which is clearly not finished, and there are a lot of features that are missing. So I feel like, Stadia at the moment is kind of irrelevant, and it's had a really, really poor start. And I think it's going to be hard for Google to pull back from this disappointing launch. It'll be interesting to see what other games they add onto the roster, but it just doesn't seem, like it doesn't have any exclusives. It doesn't have anything that's really sort of makes it stand out. And particularly with the poor performance and the poor latency issues. When people did sort of test the latency, they did say that, when using the controller, the latency wasn't as bad when using the Google Stadia controller. And they did heavily struggle when using sort of third-party controllers, and particularly keyboard and mouse, which had, huge issues in terms of latency and delayed times between sort of, inputting, commands on the controller, on the keyboard, and then seeing that output onto the TV, onto the monitor. And, they talked about even for some games, it made them unplayable. And for particular games like Destiny, where you need a lot of accuracy and a lot of pinpoint precision, that they just could not do that. And that was a huge, huge problem. So Google Stadia completely flopped. Huge, huge disappointment. Let me know what you guys think of Google Stadia in the comments section below. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think there's a market for it? Do you think there's a demand for it? What are your thoughts on the future of gaming when it comes to streaming? Do you think that's the way things are going to go? Let me know in the comments section below. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.